This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, the Baroness and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Me.
Hello, welcome to Behind the Scenes. My brain immediately, when they said suggested material, I thought they said suggestive material.
Oh yeah,
and I think that had to do. I
think
think that had to do with our conversation from before, because we
were
were
having a great
talking about we
conversation
were
before the show.
we were talking about the difference in labels of kitty diddlers. There was a comedian who came on the show last year.
Drop him?
Yeah,
Gianmarco Soresi. I hope I said that right.
and he came on the show. And he's like, and he's explaining the difference between a hebephile and he's like, the problem is when you explain this difference, when you get pedantic about it, it makes you sound like
a kitty diddler. Because they're all the same, really. And we got there because we're talking about the whole OnlyFans thing and how different girls are trying to invest all their lives into it.
I know,
and it's not.
They're trying to make
really weird
they're like
niches to get themselves
and
into.
You've got that girl that's like, once a boy turns 18, then you've got the girl that's like, I'll do 100 men in a day. But that's all media. You have to find your niche.
Well, that's part of the entertainment world. There's so many people out there. So if you want to get into entertainment, you want to be a corn star, you want to be a comedian, you want to be a fighter. What about you is more interesting than the last 3,000 people doing that? You know, that's how you got to find your thing that entices people to come watch you.
I am going to say, I appreciate you on TikTok, but let's be honest, that chick made stop putting your coffee on that. He's putting his coffee on the tray that's got the cameras on it.
Listen, it's only expensive. It'll be okay. You were saying. Are you going to continue? You had a great thought. I'll pick it up if you want.
Sure.
I don't remember what it was.
Essentially, girls earn like $43 million from doing this OnlyFans content.
Yeah,
and I think Bear is wasting his time doing TikTok and Insta and punching people. He needs to take off his pants.
And as I stated earlier, this body that I'm in right now will not earn $43 million. In fact, it never will, because as much as it's
guy that does videos with his dad makes a lot of money.
I guarantee he doesn't make 43 million, but also that's wild.
I know there is.
Is it literally them, or is it they do with other people? And
I don't know. I don't know. So I couldn't go too far into it. It really bothered me. It bothered me a lot. He does OF content with his
daddy.
With his with his dad.
Oh, it's right. They use those terms interchangeably. No, his genetic father and him do corn together on OnlyFans. So do with that information what you will.
Would you do it with your mother?
No. There is no amount of money. there is no price point. There is if the president of the United States came to me right now and said, I will give you our entire annual defense spending budget right now if you make a single video of corn with your mother, I would I couldn't tell you how fast that was. I would say no before you finish the sentence.
I'd be like, try. I mean,
no, do not say try. You would not try with your father.
Absolutely not.
No, you would not.
No.
You would hire someone to be like, yeah, this is totally my dad.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like Bear has never been so flaccid and unhappy in his entire life.
The worst part is we're saying that from a point of like comfort. We're doing okay in our lives, so we don't have to think like that. There are people out there so desperate who would absolutely sit there. How could I convince her to do it? Do I show her the contract first? What gets her involved? Or they're already into the idea and they don't need money to entice them. They just need an excuse.
I think that's the old adage there, but for the grace of God go I.
Yes.
I come from a position of, immense privilege. You punch people for money, so you do, pretty good for yourself.
Yeah, we don't have to sleep with our parents for massive contracts of money.
The thing is,
that guy does know apparently. He's not even forced to. He just chooses to.
In any first world country, there are other options.
Yes, there are. Except that was the option he chose. I'm not. I'm so weirded out by that one. I'm sorry. How do you do it with your fan? How do you do it?
Well, Drake apparently had a threesome with his dad. Really,
for
Google
some
it.
reason, from Drake, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it doesn't. You know that song, They're Not Like Us? Yeah, I think that's emphasizes really well. Kendrick made it very clear that Drake is when he said not like us, he didn't mean not like our culture. He meant not like humans. That dude's a fucking alien. He's weird.
Yeah, except it reinforces that whole Illuminati thing. We do not actually have an Illuminati thing. There's no conspiracy in Hollywood to have like a club. There's just a bunch of perverts that got into a position of power.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of perverts in positions of power, how many of them do you think subscribe to OnlyFans?
They don't have to subscribe. It's free.
I feel like they do. Not every girl's accessible.
No, it's free for an exec. It's free. I can get on most platforms for free.
No, wait, you're saying that platform OnlyFans, if you show you're an executive in Hollywood, they will offer you a free account?
Oh yeah, they're just not going to, so they'll pay for it.
Well, here's the thing: it's not like it's not like a subscription to the website; it's a subscription to the individuals.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
These guys don't do that. What they do is they call up and they go, "Hey, babe, you want to be in a movie? I'll make you famous."
My thing is, if Quentin Tarantino called one of them up, are they going to know who Quentin is? Are they going to be like, "Oh yes, Mr. Tarantino, take me"?
They're not slow.
It's not
like
slow,
these are not stupid people, and especially some of these young ladies are quite intelligent. Some of them not so much, granted, but some of them
really they can figure the business part out. Some of them blow through everything they make. But
pun intended.
I think we should make a point too of that. Most of them, like 95% of the women who join OnlyFans, anyone joins OnlyFans for that matter, they don't make that money. They make $100 a month or less. There's a real statistic about that out there.
You have to, if this is what you want to do for a living, if you're in film. So I'm a media strategist. That's what I do. I can very modestly say I'm one of the best in the world. If we're being honest, I'm probably the best in the world currently.
And
you have to have a hook. I tell everyone the same thing. If you don't have a hook, if you don't have something that makes you different, if you don't have something that people can latch on and relate to, no one will. The problem I have with Bear is he's just himself. He won't get a hook.
I'm relatable.
It doesn't matter. You are just you. You need a hook. Everyone needs that hook. You have to have. Why do you lean off screen to drink your coffee?
Because it was with the wrong hand. And I didn't want to put pressure on your body to drink my coffee because I'd be like elbowing you in the face to get it up there. That's my hook. I drink coffee.
You punch your girlfriend in the face?
No, I drink coffee.
Everyone in the world drinks coffee.
That's why it's relatable.
You're an idiot. That's not a hook.
I feel like that was
essentially everyone needs to have something that makes them different.
Yeah.
Either an experience people can relate to or a moment that people can relate to. You have to be something or someone that people aspire to. I'm not incredibly relatable. I'm, from an American standpoint, I'm foreign. I've had a very privileged life.
Right.
I, deal in entertainment and nobility. He has his hook.
Thank you to our wonderful sound engineer. My hook is a hook to the face.
I like that.
That's how I get you guys on board.
Yep, he punches people. That is great. He will abuse people into following him.
Dude, follow me or you're catching a left and a right. You get a 2-piece meal. Hit that subscribe button.
You have to create a parasocial relationship. And for the women, especially on OF, that the one that does he's 18, so I'll sleep with him. Or the girl that does I'm sleeping with 100 men in a day.
Hook that is, by the way. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's how we got onto the hebephile conversation.
Wait, hold on. It's ephebophile.
Ephebophile. Excuse me.
That's post-pubescent. You can't explain it because then you sound like a kitty diddler no matter what.
Anyway.
If people start talking about it, they start talking about ditties and whatnot. And you go in there like, technically speaking.
Technically speaking, Diddy, I know it's a shout out again. That's like comedian. That. Yeah, I love that comedian. But
John Marco Soresi, good job.
Speaking of comedians, we are going to be having Brittany Schmitt on, who I love. I actually sat down, showed Bear some of her comedy. She's brilliant. I absolutely love her. Before though, I want to give a shout out to Bellamy Hair Extends. I want to give a shout out to Tiny Bubbles Hair Salon. I want to give a shout out to Hilton.
You mean Embassy Suites by Hilton in Phoenix, Arizona?
No, Hilton in general is our partner. Embassy Suites is your partner.
That one.
He likes that one.
It's a good hotel.
I want to give a shout out to Hilton. And our giveaway today is from Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California. If you want an ATV ride, watch Brittany's special. Tell me what your favorite part is, ride us, and the first person to do that gets a free ATV ride.
Perfect.
And I'd like to welcome to the show Brittany Schmitt.
Hello.
G'day,
Good
g'day.
day.
How you doing?
Oh, wow. That was in sync. I'm great. I'm barely awake. How are you?
Fantastic. I feel you on that one. Is it like a different time zone? Is it way earlier in the day for you?
No. I just couldn't sleep last night. I moved into a new place and there's a kid upstairs who wakes me up at like 6 a.m. And I've never wanted to commit a crime on a small family, but now I do.
Have you tried bear mace?
I don't think that'll get through the ceiling. I think I need like a bazooka or something.
I've got, now that we've already derailed a little bit, I got to know, what's he doing to keep you up?
He's just running around. I can just hear him running like laps around the house. He's just a 4-year-old kid, and they have a dog that chases them. It's a nightmare.
What is a 4-year-old kid doing up at that time of night, and what kind of parents allow this?
Well, he wasn't up at night. I was up at night because I stay up late at night because I'm a comedian and I'm working. And so I usually go to bed around like 1 or 2, and then he gets up at 6. So my window of sleeping has shrunk.
Yeah, definitely a conflict of interest there.
Yeah. So
is it like you know, is it like what is it, having you hear those people that have a cat or a dog, they don't want you open the door and just let them out? Can you do that with the neighbor's kid?
I should give it a shot. I have to do something. I'm gonna have to intervene, otherwise I'm not gonna sleep for the rest of the year.
Well, you know,
how did your tour go? I know you were just in New York performing.
Yeah, I just finished my tour. I wrapped up in the Midwest and it was epic. It was great. The tour was way shorter than last year. I only did like 15 cities this year, so it was really good. It was better than doing 35 cities. I don't know how comedians do like hundreds and hundreds of dates in a year. I don't know if that'll ever be me.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Do you have a
cocaine, by the way? Cocaine. There's a reason everyone on SNL's dying.
Right. Well. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Hey, options are great. You know, you don't have to take her up on it, but just know it's
right.
there.
No. Listen, she is an ideas woman, if nothing else.
How did you get into comedy? It's one of the most niche, difficult, I mean, really, really difficult parts of entertainment. And not only are you doing it, but you're doing it well.
Yeah, thank you. I got into it because I got a DUI in 2013 or 2012. I can't remember. And I had to go to jail for 30 days. And I was like really depressed. And my friend who got into stand-up comedy, he's like, you need therapy, but you can't afford therapy. So you should try comedy. And then he introduced me to a writing teacher in LA. And then I learned how to do comedy. And then after that, I was like, oh, this is what I was born to do. So that was kind of it.
I love that was not that story is I don't know how to answer that, but anyways, I love that that's a part of your story, purely because when we ask our guests to come on, they always submit a bio and they always give us different things a little history about themselves. We learn about them if we don't already know who they are. And the opening line of what you do says, you are a professional at bringing down the vibes at parties. So I feel like that really ties in well with the whole reason why you became a comedian.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I think comedians are probably some of the darkest people you'll ever meet. We all have a very dark passenger, and some are better at hiding it than others, and I'm not one of those people. So, you know, when people are like, New Year's especially, like that's one of those holidays where everyone's like, oh my God, 2025, it's not going to be your year. It's not going to be good. Chill the fuck out. It's never been your year. It's not turning around now. I hate optimism. And that's kind of my vibe.
I love
that.
Just treacherous.
I love that. I'm actually so for those that don't know, I've been chatting with Netflix about a special for Brittany, and we've been talking back and forth. I'm actually going to take the bio she sent us and send it over to them because it's really, really good. Yeah. That sums everything up better than anything else could, because you have a real dark bent to your comedy, but it's very good.
Yeah, I mean that's you know, one of the things that ended up happening is I got sober after my mom killed herself, and I thought, you know, when I was drinking and using, I was like a happy, cool, fun chick. I was like, oh, I'm the life of the party. I'm showing my tits. I'm dancing on tables. And then I got sober and I was like, oh, I hate myself. So when I realized that, I was like, I have to make this funny. Otherwise it'll kill me. It'll eat me alive. So it's just like, I have to do something with that darkness. And trust me, it's very isolating. Like when I start talking about my mom's suicide or, you know, abortion or rape or whatever fun topics I like to hit, people are like, ugh. You know, because people have had like nice childhoods and nice lives, like they don't relate. But the people that do relate really relate, and that's who it's for.
That makes sense.
I also think it's a great way of bringing up, just on a personal note, topics that people don't discuss. Nobody wants to talk about abortion. Nobody wants to talk about rape. Nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
I can't say that word on.
Yeah,
like
great.
nine of our platforms.
You gotta be careful.
Oh, you can't say that word? Okay, great.
No.
Yeah.
You can swear though, which is kind of funny. You can say the F word, but you can't say
it on this show right now.
Oh, you can say the F word.
Say that, yeah.
We give money to charity every time someone swears.
Okay.
It's called the Sean Patrick Flannery rule. He said the F word 73 times in 30 minutes.
Oh, good.
Good. But naturally, and that pre-Irish accent, real good mix.
Love that. Love that.
So we just started giving money to charity because we did the show live from Comic-Con and they were pissed.
You know, what's so funny to me is that you can't say the word, but you can still do it and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you can't say the word publicly, but there's guys getting away with it left and right every single day. Okay, cool. Cool rules, dude. You guys have this figured out.
It's because of how she dressed, didn't you know? She was asking
for it.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I have a new joke I'm working on. Well, I guess we can't talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Never mind.
Oh, no. You can talk about it. You just can't say the word.
But right, that's
get that out. You can talk about
that. I'm out.
Cry of exasperation was perfect.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, yeah, great.
Well, you know, that's okay. You mentioned earlier that all comedians have this kind of like dark passenger, this dark thing within. Why do you think that's the case?
I don't think most people are funny out of I think most people become funny as a defense mechanism, and the defense mechanism is usually against trauma in a childhood situation that we figure out it's the only way to maneuver through life. So I think people that have nice lives don't often become that funny or have that great of personalities, because think about it. When you've met a person who's had like an easy life, they're the most boring people in the world. Like, so I just think in order to get to the point of, also there's two parts of it, right? Like you're funny to survive. And then once you realize you can be funny for attention, that's another monster where it's like, then it's like this monster of like, nothing is ever enough. It's just like this insatiable beast. So if you take, 20 comedians that all want everyone to love them, monsters, like a real like self-actualized person would just be like, I'm okay with myself and I love myself and I have friends and family who love me. We're the kind of people that will like start relationships with our friends and family on fire to get the love and adoration of strangers. Yeah. And that's like, I recognize like I'm a fucking monster, but I'm a hot monster, and here I am.
That makes a difference. Hot helps. It's when you deal with trauma, especially childhood trauma, you need. I know everyone says like, "Oh, get into therapy," and therapy is good. I'm a huge fan of therapy, but sometimes I do believe there are certain parts of ourselves when they break, they can't completely go, be fixed.
Yeah.
And when you look at public adoration, when you look at comedy, it's a way to control people. It's a way to control a crowd. It's a way to control the situation. It's a way to stop people from lashing out at you. It's a way to get people to like you. It's really very, I don't want to use the term manipulative, but it is, but in a good way. Like it's a really messed up thing to say. It is a way to control people.
Yeah, it is a way to control people. And it's a really interesting dichotomy too, because I am pretty similar to who I am on stage, off stage. Like I don't have like, I'm not a different person, but most of the comedians that I know are completely different people, public facing and private facing. So like public facing, they're adored. Everyone loves them. They're the funniest person. They're the most awful. But like behind the scenes, they're like, they have such anger issues. They're narcissists. They're monsters. Like that kind of dichotomy is really, I think, toxic.
It's the Phil Hartman dichotomy.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's very interesting to me, but I think it's why women are funnier than men, by the way. More trauma, I'm just saying. Though we have to laugh at your stupid.
I was gonna say that's universally gonna be denied, but yeah. You're the first person who's ever said that.
Well, we've been conditioned to laugh at men's jokes even when they're not funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, as you were, I don't know if this would fall into that category of laughing at the jokes that weren't funny, but did you have a preferred comedian who you really looked up to as you were kind of going through the stages of becoming where question.
You are? The first person who made me realize I could make a job out of being funny was Joan Rivers. Okay. And so she's always kind of been the queen. And then Chelsea Handler right after that. And then once I started comedy, I didn't really look up to any comedians. I was too busy trying to figure it out on my own. But now I have some peers that I really admire. Like, I think Andrew Santino is wicked funny. I think Shane Gillis is a monster. I think Taylor Tomlinson's really good at what she does. Like, there's people now that I'm like, you know, I can learn from what they're doing, but I'm not really the kind of person that's like a student of the game. Like, I don't know every single comedian. I don't know every single joke. Like, I'm not that kind of comedian. I just say what I think is funny, and that's
go
it.
From there.
I can see the Joan Rivers thing. She was incredibly authentic, and like you, and I can vouch for this. I've seen him. I've watched her stuff, and I've seen her. I've talked to her off stage. She is very much back and forth the same person. Joan Rivers was, you know, you and Joan Rivers both have that in common. She was Joan Rivers all of the time.
Yeah. And you know what I loved about Joan is she refused to ever apologize for a joke. Like, she was like, it's a fucking joke. And if you don't get it, then like, comedy's not for you. But she would never apologize. And I feel like now comedians get in this space where they say something that's funny and it's funny, but then like people don't like it and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt. It's like, no, our job is not to apologize. Our job is to make funny, you know, to make jokes. So
I don't think really even if it's not funny, they should apologize. Sometimes jokes don't land.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a comedian should apologize. Their job is experimental. It is taking those risks. Yeah. I think people have gotten to, maybe it's the Australian in me, but I think Americans are too sensitive. You're a bunch of pansies.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. I mean, the best country to perform in is England. I've never done Australia, but England's the best because they just have a dark, sadistic sense of humor and they know it's a joke. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
So, Australia's like England with less manners,
more alcohol,
more condoms.
Well, yeah, that's how we started. That's how my family ended up there. But essentially, we've got the dark sense of humor and absolutely no reverence. The more distasteful it is, the more we tend to like it.
Yeah. Those are my people.
You definitely should go to Australia.
Yeah.
While we're still on the topic, how would you handle if you put out a joke that was relatively universally just unappreciated by audiences around the world? They're telling you to apologize.
Well, no one's made me apologize because I'm not famous enough yet, so nobody really cares. But if you go into the comment section on my Instagram and some of the jokes that have gone the most viral, it's there's a lot of people in there telling me this is not funny, this is offensive, you should kill yourself, like da 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 da. I get that all the time. I just have to get a tougher skin because I'm like, I don't care what some guy in his basement thinks about me. And until it's like the Academy telling me to apologize, I probably still won't. Like, I'm just so defiant and I am so sick of people being so fucking soft. Like, I don't know what happened or when it happened. It feels like it might have been right around the pandemic or a little bit before. I think maybe Trump's first presidency made everyone turn into real fucking cowards. And everyone just started apologizing and being super woke. And I'm like, I understand that we can be more compassionate to people, but we can't stop making jokes. Like, we have to still have a sense of humor about life. And that's kind of like the angle that I approach my comedy from. Cause I'm like, if I can't joke about my mom killing herself, who can? Why is this hurting your feelings? It was my mom and you didn't know her. She was a bitch. Like, if you knew her, you'd be like, you know, like, so I don't know. I just think everyone's sensitivity is through the fucking roof. And, you know, the internet has also given a lot of people voices that don't deserve them. It's like, there was a reason why, like, back in the day, only there was 5 people commenting on stuff. Now it's everyone in the world can comment on your stuff if they want to.
I think the internet should lose anonymity. I think it's the anonymity. I think if you have to go
100%.
there and it's your face on there,
Yes.
you are a lot more careful. And I know, if telling someone kill yourself, if
Yeah.
your face,
I mean, like
phone
we saw
number,
what happened.
your
We saw what happened to Chrissy Teigen when she told that influencer to kill herself, and that like kind of ended Chrissy Teigen. Like people stopped caring about her after that. They're like, "Oh, you're like a legitimate monster.
You're a mean girl." Well, I think the issue with her was she sold herself as a girl's girl, and then she turned into a mean girl. It's kind of the Ariana Grande thing.
Yeah.
There's a point where like it's cool you get yours, but if you're gonna be a dick. Yeah, she went after like Courtney Stodden, who was 16, being, predator. She like, her husband is a predator, her mother's a predator. Like she literally mean girls out. And it's that moment of people went, I don't like you now that I know you.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. And I think that's 100% true. If like it wasn't a burner account telling, it's the same thing as like, back in the day before the internet, like if you wanted to say something mean to someone, you had to say it to their face. Yep. And then you had to accept the consequences, which could be getting punched in the fucking mouth.
Yep.
And now nobody has to deal with that. They're all just cowards behind burners saying whatever they want. And I'm like, no, come say it to my face. And then if you have the courage, like this, there's a perfect example of this. When I was in high school, Facebook first started. There was this group of people who hated me, and they made a Facebook group about me. And
that's the most horrible. Like as a comedian, it's everything you want in life. As a teenager, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, no. As a teenager, I didn't even know I was gonna be a comedian. I was like, this isn't funny. It was just like a fucking hate group. And I figured out who ran it, and it was like, my whole life I just spent like I wanted everyone to like me. I felt so bad that people didn't like me, and in that moment, something shifted, and I was like, fuck all of you. Like fuck this, fuck all of you.
Punch her in the throat.
Yeah, no, because this guy that started the group commented being like, this girl's such a slut, I want to curb stomp her. I'm like, thank you. And I went up to his locker and I was like, you want to curb stomp me, Dan? Take me out to the street and curb stomp me right now. And he just like cowered down and he was so afraid of me. And I was getting in his fucking face. I'm like, you fucking psychopath. Like say it on the internet, say it to my face, do it right now. My mouth is wide open, curb stomp me and see what happens. And he got so scared. And like, I just always remember that. Like, I just remember that every time I see a mean comment or someone saying something, I'm like, they're cowards. Like, if you really approach them face to face, they're fucking cowards. And he was scared of me for the rest of high school.
You see it all the time. I see it with him. Like when he'll lose a fight, you have guys like, I would have done this or I would have done that. I'm like, go fight then.
Yeah, go do it.
Get in the cage.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more people who aren't just brazen on the internet, but they've seemed to have equated to, I can say this. It's a little bit opposite of what you guys are talking about. I've said it online. Nothing happened to me. I can say it to people on a day-to-day basis now. Nothing's going to happen.
I fully encourage this. If you think you can get away with it, I fully encourage it. Go say it to a person. There are lots of cage fighters around. Go say it to one of them.
What I mean is like, you'll get a guy who's so comfortable saying, hey, go fuck your mother on the internet. And then he goes up, he gets in an argument with some guy in person. He's like, hey, go fuck your mother. And his brain is like, oh, he's not going to do anything. And then he gets jawed. Yeah. And now he's confused and he's calling for the cops because it's like, I do this all the time. Why did I get hit for it now? Well, it's because you live on the internet, dude.
Yeah, but it's also the boomers. I'm gonna hear me out on this.
I feel like they wouldn't be the group to do that.
No, they're not. But they're the group that's like, the internet's been around for like 40 years now, dude. Don't tell me you don't know how to use a computer. You're just lazy. They'll turn around and bitch about everything. They, don't hurt my baby, yell at the teacher, and they wonder why it's soft. What was that adage? Soft times make.
Strong men make easy times make soft men make hard times, and then there's cycle repeats itself.
Essentially, the boomers made everything super easy for, their kids, which was the millennials, which is me.
I don't know.
Us. Oh no, they fucked us up royally. I'm just saying.
What boomers did you have around?
No, they fucked us up royally.
Ruined the planet and then fucked off.
But they made their own lives easier at our expense. Look at the economy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I'm in a position I can buy property, but that's not normal. Like you're in entertainment, you have an above average abnormal job. Mm-hmm. You have your podcast. Shout out, by the way, make sure you guys are following her podcast.
Oh yeah, it's called This Is the Worst.
And it's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
but it's a different, like, they made their own lives easier, where most people try and make their kids' lives easier.
Right.
And so that's what's so weird about this generational thing here. For you sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's all gonna be over soon, so don't worry.
It's all gonna be, everything's gonna burn. I don't know.
2025 is not looking promising. I agree.
Honestly, it's end time, so whatever. Whoever
like,
we
just
can blame it on.
Waiting for the horsemen to come riding along. It's great.
Yeah. It's so funny. I'm going to a vision board party tomorrow night, and I was like, I don't have any visions for 2020. Nothing's gonna happen. I can just feel it.
I like that.
You answered my question. I was going to ask New Year. Do you have any resolutions you want to meet?
No, I mean, there's so many things I want to get done professionally, but it feels like Hollywood's on fire and nothing's happening. So it just like kind of feels futile to make any goals. I'm like, I want X, Y, and Z to happen, but I don't know. I've wanted it to happen for like 4 years and it hasn't. So I don't know what would make this year any different.
So Hollywood's been kind of screwed. For those that don't know, we went through the pandemic. We ran through our entire backlog of film. We get through to about 22, and then everyone's made these cheap, craptastic films during the pandemic that we're having to release. Then we have strike after strike after strike. So we have no backlog. We have a ton of projects. We put everything on rerun. And now they're scrambling. Like, I have 32 orders in for different projects right now, 31, 32 orders. It's insane. And I don't do that many projects in a year. I do 5 or 6.
And a lot of the big guys are kitty diddlers.
That's got nothing to do with that. That just is happening.
Which means I won't be getting touched. So I'll be
Why do you say that like dejectedly?
That was she's a bloody comedian. It was funny.
It was good. No, I like that.
It's a bummer. You know, I'm single. I'm looking for love.
Well, they did. I think they did release Harvey on Good Behavior.
Oh, good. Okay, so I can call him up.
Yep. Well, I'm like, really? That's you. They let out Cosby as well. I was like,
listen, I think we need to get everyone together who got canceled and have them make a movie, and it'll be the best fucking movie that's come out.
Doing a TV show called Canceled.
Yeah. No, literally, it's got to be Harvey, Louis C.K., Bill Cosby.
Yep.
Who else is down for the count? What's that one director? Who's that director that oh yeah, Kevin Spacey. The director that fled the country because he fucked a 14-year-old.
Oh my god! That everyone,
Roman Polanski.
They're still giving him awards.
I know. So anyway, let's get them all together. They'll make a movie. It'll be the best movie ever, and then we're just gonna have to be like, all right.
You have to add Woody Allen and his daughter wife. Woody Allen and his daughter wife.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's a dream team. It's a dream team. The Diddlers are a fucking dream team.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
that's like an all-star roster.
Oh my god!
Why?
That would be
it's not a bad idea.
I hate to say that would make a really good movie. Actually, though, like, people would go.
They all have like one more in them before they're about to die of natural causes anyway.
Oh, it's that moment that you're like, we have let it go.
Or they're all gonna get Luigi'd at some point.
You know, that I get where everyone's coming from on that. Everyone, you know, they're turning around. They're like, why are you, you know, what I loved was, I don't care about the left or the right. I'm not American. So I'm like, I think you guys are stupid with how tribal you are. Like, get mad at the people that are screwing you all over, not each other. But I've got like a blanket. I'm sick. Nobody knows. But like everyone's like rallied behind him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I think it's weird. I think it's weird to rally behind someone who shot someone at point blank range in the back of the head.
Okay, so hey, what's your take on that?
That was where we were going.
I think it's weird. Listen, he's hot. If he was ugly, nobody would care. Like nobody, like people wouldn't be as excited if he wasn't a fucking swoon. This is how lonely girls are in America. I think that's what it's really showing is like how low the bar is for dating. It has been illuminated by Luigi because they're like, that's like everyone in America is like, that's my motherfucking man. And it's like, oh really? A murderer? Like also he's got back injuries and he's gay, but okay, go ahead. That's your man. Like
it's the same that Meeks guy that everyone swooned over the mugshot.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like I get the
he married that mugshot man, married into a billionaire family after he got released from jail. The founder of Topshop's daughter.
Yep.
Wow.
I just need to find my mugshot.
It's bizarre, and it shows pretty privilege to a new level. And I understand everyone being upset about the healthcare thing in America. I grew up with, national healthcare, so it was not kind of a problem. And I get that people are uniting behind him. Just, even he was hard right, but, even the left is kind of behind him. And then you have the girls that want to sleep with him. And then you have everyone behind him. And I'm like, I get that you have a problem with the healthcare CEO, but did someone have to get shot in the head? Like, it's a rocket science. It's a thing.
I think that is like a state of reflection of how bad the democracy is in America, because it's like we need vigilantes to make change. And like, unfortunately, it's not immediately all the change that we needed to see, but like the United Healthcare like changed some stuff really quickly after he died. Like they were like,
Blue Cross Blue Shield pulled back their no anesthesia policy.
Yeah. No, they all started making really quick changes because they're like, oh, we're getting hunted. So it's like it's a different time. Listen, I think the whole thing's weird, but the world is chaos right now. So honestly, right. I barely flinched when it happened. I'm like, the terrorist attack on New Year's, like everything's so crazy that if you cared, I can't even afford to care because my nervous system would be in this constant state of shock. So I'm just like, I'm so apathetic, and I think a lot of America is very apathetic.
As far as what you can tell them, do you think that's going to encourage more people to kind of seek out these vigilantes, or because they're apathetic, they don't care that they're not going to do anything?
Did you not listen to her on Comedians? Once you feed people attention, they keep going for it.
Yeah, but I want the take.
More people are going to do it.
I don't know. We'll see, because you do have to be a fucking psychopath to kill someone. Like, that's the thing. And a lot of us are very unwell, but the act of murder is so it's like the antithesis to being alive if you have like a soul and any moral compass. Like yeah. So
it's the in-ground in-ground in our species.
You have to be a real psychopath to do something like that. But I don't know, I think Americans are getting pushed to the edge on a lot of stuff, and we'll see.
Well, you see that in every great nation. When you look at, so America's democracy was built on Roman democracy, which held for a while, then became kind of a two-party, and then it became voting for the lesser of two evils, and then you've got a Caesar. But essentially, every great country has the highs and lows. I don't think, I know everyone's like, this is the fall of America. I don't think so. I think America will pull itself back for sure. But this is definitely one of the highs and the hollows. This is definitely one of the hollow moments.
It feels kind of just like hopeless and weird right now. But I can't remember the last time it felt good. Honestly, the last time I was happy was the pandemic. When everyone was inside, I was like, I love this.
But you're a millennial. So am I. So is he. In our lifetime, it started around 9/11, and then it's been recession after depression, after war, after war. I mean, they call us the most unstable generation for a reason. We didn't get the what's a polite way of saying this that doesn't insult anyone? There's no way.
No, insult them.
Okay. Well, they screwed us up so bad. Like, when has it ever been good? We can't buy houses. We can't, they blamed it on us buying avocado toast.
But don't you think that like every generation's probably thought the same thing? Like, I don't think there was ever a generation where it was like everything's great. Like, because there was world wars.
It's definitely not great. We just statistically the only generation that's poorer, sicker, dying younger than our parents. Every generation, financially, things have gotten better. We're just the first generation whose parents essentially fucked them. And it wasn't intentional. It was just baby boomers came from the greed is good generation.
Mm-hmm.
And so they became very, self-serving. You got the Gen X, which became very nihilistic, and millennials, which, were the antidepressant generation.
Yeah.
And then now apparently it's cool to have mental illness with Gen Z. I think it was eating the Tide Pods.
I can't. I'm ready to go whenever. If there's like an eject button from Earth, just hit it.
Sign you up for it.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you a question? You see this a lot. There was a male comedian we dealt with a while ago. Really, I like him, Matt. He really benefited from kind of pretty privilege, but everyone got on him because they didn't find his jokes funny. You yourself are very, very funny, but very, very pretty. Do you find that a contradiction? Because that's one of the things we have people writing in about. Is it hard to be funny and pretty? Do people expect you to just be pretty or funny?
It's definitely not helpful to be, it's definitely not an advantage to be pretty as a comedian. That's not like a net positive. Matt got really lucky because he kind of reactivated like the Backstreet Boys phenomenon, where we saw like girls that are like just like of a certain age that are feral and want to see him and think he's hot and he's funny enough and like whatever. But
he had a lot of work done though if you saw him beforehand.
Oh no, I know. But listen, whatever makes you feel better about yourself, do it. I'm like, we live in LA, everyone gets plastic surgery. I don't really care. I mean, for me, I don't know comedy any other way. So I have a hard time answering that question. I don't know what it would be like if I was a Duff and I was like, you know, if I looked different. I don't know how different it would be. But I think that is a reason why I try so much harder with my joke writing to be as smart and as sharp as I possibly can be, so that like if you took my face and my body and everything away, it would still be like rock solid jokes that I'm really proud of. So I do my best. I have to work harder because of it, but I don't mind. I've always worked hard and, you know, it's working. And I'd rather be pretty than not.
That's fair.
No, I think comedy is probably the only profession where being pretty is a negative, and you're extraordinary.
I know,
but
is why I want to get into, you know, I do want to get into acting, but like I said, Hollywood's on fire, so I'm just like, I don't know what's coming for me, but I would love to get into a field that rewards my looks before they go away, because honestly, I've got like 5 years left, and then I'm going to turn into a cabbage.
Cabbage. Oh my God. You know, you were talking about the whole process of you writing your jokes because you want them to hit regardless of what your appearance is. What's it like writing out your comedy routine?
I have a very structured way of writing. I do premise act out writing where I pick a topic. And then the way that I do it is I put the topic in the middle of the paper. And then I do 4 quadrants. And the quadrants are different premises, which are what's hard about, what scares me about, what bugs me about, and what's weird about. So those are the 4 like kind of universal premises. So like say the premise is what's hard about being from Wisconsin is people don't understand how much we drink. Like they just did a survey recently in Wisconsin, or they did a survey recently of the 50 drunkest counties in all of the United States, and 47 of them were in Wisconsin. Like that's so many of them. The map was color coded. It was red if you were a drunk county and blue if you weren't. So Wisconsin was just red. And then there was a blue spot in the middle. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know we had a sober county. So I zoomed in and it was a lake. So, so we don't. So like the premise is like the universal truth where everyone can like get on board, you know, and they're like, oh, what's hard about being from Wisconsin is, yeah, people don't understand how much they drink. And then I do the act out, which is like where the joke is coming. So I do like very structured joke writing, and I always want to impress myself. Like I want to make myself laugh. And, you know, I think my first special was really strong. There was not a joke in there I didn't love. My second special was fine. I could have done better. And now I'm going to give myself time to get this third one ready to a place where I like blow both of those out of the water.
Do you know
I've been talking to Netflix. If they want to go next week, they need content.
What do you mean content?
Everyone needs content. So all of these places are pushing. So you may not have as much time as you think. When I say I've been talking to Netflix,
Summer, I never know what's really going on with you. You're just like this elusive Australian that like I don't know what your real job is. I don't know what you're actually up to. You're just like a mystic person in my life that occasionally like, you come in and you're like, this is happening. And then you're like, I have COVID on vacation. So I don't know what's ever going on with you.
I'm sort of human trafficking her to Netflix. Just
on that note, is human trafficking a part of the next bit that's coming up, or are we going to go in a different direction?
Sorry, what'd you say?
This is a bad segue. Do you have any ideas of what you'd like to put into your next routine or anything that you're spitballing right now?
Oh yeah. So I mean, this last tour I did was my whole new hour. So I have it figured out, and I'm excited about it. I feel good about it. I feel like the jokes are strong again. I feel like the performance has gotten better. It all feels good. I think the thing with me is my 2 specials that I've put out have both been 30-minute specials, and the industry standard is an hour. And I don't like hours. I have a really hard time. Like there's a thumbs up. I was like, if I can put out a rock solid 30 minutes every year or 2 years, instead of like an hour that has 30 good minutes and 30 whatever minutes in it, I would rather do less, but I think I want to try for an hour this time. And the material is, this last tour was called My Mom's Dead, a comedy tour. So it's a lot of it's about my mom again, and dating and failing at dating and divorce. And my comedy is always about my life. So whenever I'm putting anything out, people kind of know exactly where I am in my life, or exactly where I was a year prior. Because, the time to get it out, it usually takes a little time, but I'm not doing anything different. I'm not going to like become an observational comic like Seinfeld. I'm not going to become a political comic. Like the lane I'm in is the lane I'm going to stay in until I quit.
This might be hard to answer then. For you in that case, more success might mean worse shows or less material, right?
You can also cheat it. What I've seen done with like the hour specials is them do like 45 minutes and then do 2 comedians will do an opening set of like 7 minutes or 15. So you can kind of cheat it if you prefer to keep it in that realm.
That's the setup for every comedy show. Is we'll have a host that does 10 minutes and then a feature that does 20 minutes. And then I do between 45 minutes and an hour, depending on how I'm feeling. But when you're putting a special out, it's like me. I'm never going to put out like the opening comics.
It's not selling anyone else. Fuck them. It's my time.
Absolutely it is.
No.
I'd like to remind everyone, every time we swear, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because we care.
Yeah, I swear because we care. So no, I don't know. We'll see how much longer I hang on to this comedy thing that I'm chasing.
You're doing well though. You've already got past the point that most people get to. Most people will go do open mics. They don't go on tour.
No, I know. I just want to, the money I'm making, if we could amplify it by like 100, that would be great. It's like basically the effort doesn't match how much money I want to be making. And that's
do you bring on private sponsorship?
Huh?
Do you bring on private sponsorship? A lot of comedians, a lot of actors, a lot of models, their managers will pull them on sponsors, essentially clothing sponsors, jewelry sponsors to wear during their stand-up routines. They give them a shout out and they get paid to do that.
No.
Kick your manager in the junk.
Okay, wow. You know how I feel about managers.
I was like, you have a whole stage and a whole room full of people and you're touring the country. Get like 5 sponsors. All you have to do is be like, hey, everyone, shout, like we do it with Hilton. Shout out to Hilton Hotels.
Yeah.
Like they really are nice to us. So I love them. But in general.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll figure it out. You'll figure it out for me, Summer.
Okay. I'm human trafficking you to I'm human trafficking you to Netflix. I don't do the sponsorship. But I will yell at your manager if they don't get it for you because shit, you should be making more. No, you're incredibly talented. I really admire what you're doing. It's something, I wouldn't have the guts to do. I know a lot of people wouldn't have the guts to do that. You've chosen one of the hardest jobs in the world, which is going out there and you're bearing your soul. You're taking your most vulnerable moments for other people's entertainment and humor. I mean, you've really, when you break it down, chosen probably one of the most difficult. Yeah, I mean, really, you're ripping your soul bare. How do you come back from that at the end of a show?
Well, it depends on how they react, right? Because if they love it, I feel great and I feel validated and I feel seen. And I have people come up to me after the show that are like, my mom killed herself and I never laughed about it until tonight. Like I have people that I help them heal through the art form. And then I have people who hate it, and that feels like being burned alive in front of strangers. Like, when I am bearing my soul and talking about my divorce or something that horrible that happened to me, and people just sit there like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kill myself. You know, like it's
That's
like
bad. Yeah.
And like she's in a show about suicide, That's great. The
While we're there, I'm curious.
do they?
I think it's. Do you have a question? You can go
No,
ahead.
go. It's fine.
I think it's a little cliche that we, as interviewers, ask the guests, like, "Hey, what's your worst experience doing this thing?" But for you, do you have a most interesting experience, either with a specific person or a show?
Oh, they all blend together. Honestly, the ones that stick out are the worst ones because they're like embedded in your soul. You know, it's like
Oh shit! Okay.
The good one. It's kind of like comments on the internet, right? It's like when you see a good one, you're like, oh, that's nice, and then when you see a bad one, you're like, oh my god, that's gonna sit with me forever. And that is kind of what comedy's like, because when it's great, but you know that it can be great, but you don't remember the specifics of it being great. But when it's bad, it like changes you on a cellular level.
It sounds like
fair.
you losing a fight. The fight he remembers most is the one he lost in like 47 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's like for me, probably like the first time I ever bombed doing comedy. So I got very lucky. Like I said, I took this class, I did a showcase. After I did the showcase, my first show after that was at the Comedy Store. Right after that, Bobby Lee asked me to feature for him, who's like a pretty big comedian.
Yeah.
And I just had a lot of momentum right away. And then another guy asked me to go to Vegas and do shows with him. And he's like, can you do 12 minutes, which is like an amount of time I could do right now with my eyes closed. But as a comic who had like 4 weeks of experience, I had 7 minutes. I had these 7 minutes that I wrote in that class. That was all I had. And we went to Vegas and he's like, do 12 minutes. And so in my mind, I was like, I'm going to end strong. I'm going to start with the new stuff. So I started with stuff that was like completely untested. And I was supposed to do 12 minutes. I think they lit me to get off stage at about 4 minutes. And it was awful. Like there was a point where a guy started playing the cricket noises on his phone. And I just had to get off stage early. And then the worst part was I had another show. We had another show to do after that. And so I went back to the hotel room and contemplated suicide. And then I was like, oh, I guess I have to go do this show. And then for the other show, I was like, I can only do 7 minutes. All I have is 7 minutes. And so I told them that. They put me first. I did the 7 minutes. It was great. And it was over. But that, like the way I felt, I didn't push through it. I wasn't like, I'm going to be a comedian. I was like, I think I should like stop doing comedy. Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't. You are phenomenal.
Yes.
We are at the end of the show. I've got my sound engineer telling us it's time. Can you tell everyone where to find you, please? Because I want our audience to follow you.
Yes, please. It is Brittany Schmitt on Instagram, BrittanySchmitt, no D. I took all those in college. And that is the same for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. So follow me there. I have a special called Horny on YouTube, and Hoda Housewife is on Hulu. So
please watch it. Hoda Housewife. Please watch it. She is very, very funny. More than that, I'm trying to sell a TV show of hers and I'm pushing a Netflix special. So do me a favor and follow her.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Brittany is really a phenomenal comedian and one of my favorite comedians. I'm not saying that just because I'm doing the shows. I'm doing the shows because she is. Go check out her specials. She's very, very good, very funny, and got some of the best comic timing you've ever seen.
Oh, she made us laugh several times in this show.
Well, it's got nothing to do with the show. I'm talking about the specials. Go watch the specials.
Well, if she can do that offhanded, imagine what the specials are like.
You've literally watched them.
There you go.
I'm Summer Helene. We are on with my co-host, Bear Fiorda. This is Behind the Scenes. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with the Baroness and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk 4 Media.